Hi, welcome to the Recovery Daily podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Apasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And I just recorded like 10 or 15 minutes of this episode. And then I pushed stop because I was like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. So the topic that I wanted to talk about today, was related to a story that I heard this morning in my sobriety meeting. And it was about a woman who was born blind. And I'm going to summarize. She had a hard time accepting that she was blind. And I think part of the problem was with her family accepting her for who she is. And that translated to herself. She had an older brother who passed away prior to her birth. And then her parents had another child and a daughter. So she had an older sister. And then they had another daughter, and that was her. And she was born blind. And then they finally had another son. So she was stuck in the middle there and feels like she was a disappointment to her parents. And I think that she grew up with this feeling that she was less than. And of course, she ended up being an alcoholic. But it was really inspiring, the story where she talks about this challenge of accepting herself for who she is, accepting that she is not less than because she can't do some of the things that other people can do. And I can relate to that. I can't relate to being blind. I'm not blind. I have a disorder that keeps me from being able to do a lot of things, but I can still see fine. I actually have very good vision. It's just that my brain can't connect, can't make sense of what is happening around me when it's moving. That's all that I can figure out how to explain it. Like, my vision system is fine. But when what I see is moving, my brain doesn't understand it. And it throws me off. It makes me feel like I'm on a roller coaster. It makes me feel like somebody's shaking my head. And it causes me to have a headache. It causes the back of my eyes to hurt and all of these things. But I still feel like I could relate to this idea where she felt like she was less than because she couldn't do what other people could do. And when I think of that, I think of like my daughter's last year of college. She played on the soccer team and she was a starter. She was amazing. And I couldn't go to her games because, number one, I couldn't handle riding in the car. And two, if I were to get there and sit and watch the game, it makes me sick to watch the ball going back and forth, watch everybody going back and forth. And I felt sorry for myself. I felt sorry that I couldn't be the mom that she wanted me to be. I think it was hard for her to not have me there. Like, I do. I feel like it was hard for her to not have me there. Um, and I'm going to assume that she felt sorry for herself that her mom wasn't there. And it's interesting. She's coming today. She's coming in for the holiday and she'll be here in a couple hours. So it'd be interesting to ask her about this. But from my perspective, felt like all the other moms are there. Even her dad is there and I can't be there. And it made me just feel like I can't be a good mom. Um, I couldn't really, I mean, I feel like there were a couple games that I tuned in online, but I couldn't watch it. I had to listen, which is kind of going against being able to see who's playing and going back and forth. It's not like there was somebody like commentating the game or anything. So being less than because I can't do the things that other people can do. If I were to compare this to my alcoholism, there was a similar feeling and I still have it, honestly, I still have it. And I'm thinking of an example that happened just yesterday. Um, I felt like when I stopped drinking that my boyfriend my husband now, uh, was gonna want to find somebody else, somebody who he can do fun stuff with. Like I can't go out, I can't go to bars, I can't do the things that I used to do because it's there's a chance that I would drink. Like I wouldn't even have fun if I were to go to like a happy hour with him and all of our friends or anything like that. So I just stopped being able to go. And I really felt like I was less than, that me being an alcoholic made me less of a good match with him, made me less of a good girlfriend. And this was not his perspective, at least that's what we have communicated um, to each other. But when I had my stroke, I remember talking to my friend on the phone, my friend and ex-coworker. She was on my team. And I was talking to her on the phone. This was like right when I left my job a year and a half ago. And I said, or I guess it's been a year ago, where I actually had to go into medical retirement. I said, I think that my husband well, we weren't married yet. My boyfriend needs to find someone else. Like, I think he should just go find someone else because I can't be everything I used to be to him. And she was like, Rachel, stop that. Stop saying that. And I said, I know that that's ridiculous for me to say, but it's truly how I felt. I felt like, I feel like that in a lot of ways with everything and everybody. Like, people didn't sign up for this, I mean, I didn't either, but I can't be the same daughter that I used to be. I can't be the same, I'm his wife now, so he ended up marrying me. So he doesn't have a problem with it. But that doesn't mean that I don't think about that I can't be that person that I want to be for him. And I can't be the same dog owner I used to be. I'm saying that because the dogs are both passed out right in front of me, but I can't be the same mom. I can't be a lot of things. And it makes me feel sorry for myself. Um, to the point where it actually starts putting a lump in my throat. But I see that it's not until I accept the things that I can't change that I can move forward, right? So this woman in this story, she she reached this pivotal point, and I don't recall exactly what happened, but she started to connect with other people like her. She started to connect with an organization for blind and low vision. She started to be looking for solutions rather than looking for how many ways she's less than perfect. And what she ended up doing was she was given technology that allowed her to hold. So she was legally blind, but it sounds like she still had some kind of vision. So that she got this technology where you hold it over a book and it blows up the characters in the book. So she got some tools where she was able to start doing things that other people could do. She just needed the right tools to do it. And isn't that so magically correlated to sobriety and to the disability that I have? Um, I thought I wasn't going to be able to even use digital devices anymore, but I have been given the tools once I actually worked really freaking hard to find people like me. I was given tools that allow me to use digital devices, and I use them differently. I finally have my video on, but I don't look at the computer. I look over the computer because if I look at it, it makes me sick. And I'll start losing my train of thought and stuff because it's multitasking, believe it or not. It's multitasking. There's a lot of things that I can't do at the same time now. I can't talk and do something at the same time. It's multitasking. Um, I've always said that we can't really do multiple things at once. Like you can't do two things both 100%. It's 50% each. Um, so my sobriety program has given me the tools to have fun my way. And my stroke support groups and my vestibular support groups and the blind and low vision community have given me the tools to do more and more than I could before. So this lady in the story, she ends up going to a class, like she goes to a blind and low vision community, and she ends up taking a class that allows people that are legally blind to or handicap in some way to start their own business. So she takes a 6-week class and ends up starting her own business, and she hires a couple employees, but she starts moving forward. And it wasn't until she was able to accept the things that she can't change, accept herself for who she is, that she was able to move forward because and get sober too, because all of that happened at the same time. So she started her business, and then she coincidentally or not interacted with somebody who said, "Hey, I'm in AA. would you like to go to a meeting with me? And she ended up going, and the rest is her story, you know. One thing that I heard is she said something to the effect of like, I don't know who I am, or I don't know who I am right now, or something like that. And the lady who took her to the AA meeting said, that's awesome because now you can be whoever you want to be. And I wrote that down today because I was like, that's really what I have been facing is, and I feel pretty secure in where I'm at now, but I got to this point where I'm like, I don't even know what my purpose is. Like, I've just lost my entire trajectory in my life. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I stand for. Like, what is my purpose in life? And it took me some time and some professional therapy to find out like that's a pretty cool thing to be able to be standing in front of a blank piece of paper and I can create whatever I want out of my life. I mean, yeah, with restrictions, but there's so much I can still do. Um, I think it's important for me to go back to the beginning of this podcast a year and a half ago and listen to some of those episodes where I'm like feeling very hopeless. Um, Something I heard today was somebody said, yesterday gives me perspective on today. And I thought that that was really interesting because my failure to accept myself just the way that I am yesterday gives me a greater perspective on who I can be today. Really. Um, there's only so much that I can plan for in my future. And my psychiatrist made it abundantly clear to me that I was telling her like I don't know what tomorrow holds. Like I don't know what my future holds now. Like and she kept saying like, but you didn't know before. You didn't know before. And I'm like, yeah, but I knew what my capabilities were. Um, and we were talking about how my capabilities change over time when I practice and I work with them and stuff. So she's like, just like your capabilities evolve over time, they will still. So there's only so much we can plan in our lives. But I think the key to the future is having hope and aspirations for the future, not plans, hope and aspirations, not plans for the future. So I'm learning to shift it from, yeah, I can make plans. Um, I have a plan for what I'm going to do with you guys next year, what my big project will be for next year. That's my plan. Um, it could change. I need to open myself to being flexible. What if my medical condition gets worse? Then I trust that I'm gonna have the tools that I need to deal with it when that time comes, if it comes. But I can still hope and aspire to put work in for this project next year with you all. So, anyway, that's kind of where my head is today. And it's been a very busy day. Let's see, it's almost 4 o'clock. I have been cleaning up all day, preparing for my kids to come to town. And my house was a little bit messier then I guess I realized so I needed to empty out one of the rooms so that we had two guest rooms. And the room that I needed to really empty out and clean up what is my studio. It used to be my office. You longtime listeners know that this room continues to evolve. It used to be my yoga room, my yoga meditation room. Then it was my office, and now it's my studio. That's what we call it, my art studio or podcast studio and or podcast studio. So today it's a bedroom with a big blow up mattress in it. So, and I had to move furniture around and everything. And so I'm beat, but I am super excited for my kids to be here. I'm wondering if I might be able to convince my kids to do a podcast episode with me. So we will see if I can get them to do that. They'll do anything for mom. So I am planning on recording every day over the holiday. So I will, thanks for coming, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.